Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do a video talking about the Criterion collection and explaining a little bit of what it is exactly. So the Criterion collection is basically a boutique physical media label that puts out some films in really high quality that you normally wouldn't get from regular studio releases. You get a lot of foreign films being put out on Criterion. For example, here we have the very famous Seven Samurai, which is a Japanese film that is known as like one of the best films ever made. And then you also have other ones like Anatomy of a Fall, which just came out a couple years ago from France. But on the back of every Criterion, there's a little note up here that basically explains it for me. It says the Criterion Collection, a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films presents, and then it has the name of the film. So basically these are just very important films that have impacted cinema and history in some way. I think the biggest misconception about the Criterion Collection is that they only put out films that no one's really heard of, or only people that, like me, know of because we're so into movies. But that's just not true. They put out plenty of mainstream movies that people have heard of. For example, we have Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, which I'm pretty sure everybody has heard of. And then another example is The Breakfast Club. And then here we have The Princess Bride. Now hopefully everybody has heard of those movies because those are all very iconic movies that everybody needs to have seen. But Criterion basically gets these movie rights and they do the best they can to make everything that comes with it worth the money. For example, the picture quality is going to look better than anywhere else. The audio quality is usually better than anywhere else. And most importantly, the special features and the packaging better than anywhere else. These Criterions are packed with so many different special features. So if you're a really big film fan like me, then that sort of stuff really appeals to you. There's so many like director commentaries and behind the scenes things and things that you just won't get unless you get a Criterion. Another cool thing I've seen with a lot of these as well is they'll include like short films from the directors too. So for example, I have a few David Lynch films on Criterion, and a few of them come with some short films that you wouldn't be able to get anywhere else unless you bought that particular film on Criterion. Another thing about Criterion is the amount of effort they put into their packaging. It's always really done well. And of course there's different variety of how they package their films. Usually the typical one is just a standard case like this Raging Bull here. And then when you open it, you have the discs here with the Criterion logo on it. And then you always have like some sort of a booklet in the side here. And then in the back there's some sort of picture as well that looks really nice. But these books that come in them all also have, you know, cool pictures inside and tons of journal entries and behind the scenes things like this, like little articles that you can read about. But it's just really cool sometimes just looking at the pictures in these booklets. But I'm pretty sure all of the normal cases like this come with a booklet in the side like that. And the spines of all these Criterions also match as well. Down at the lower bottom you have the number of when it came out, if that makes sense. So for example, this is 1134, which means that this is 1134 movie that they have put out. So if you were to start your Criterion collection from this one, you would have 1133 other movies that came out before it. Of course, it's impossible to collect all those movies, but that's kind of the fun in it, is Criterion is so wide and has such a big variety of different types of films. And they don't just do old films, they also do newer ones like Anatomy of a Fall. This is a French film that came out a few years ago, maybe 22 or 21, and it won so many awards because it's just a really fantastic film. And the only release that this film got was in the Criterion collection. So if you want to own this movie on physical media, the only way to get it is through Criterion. But they also put out some really cool editions as well. For example, like this Princess Bride. They did fantastic with this one. This one is in the style of a book, like the book that is read in the movie. but when you open it, it's an actual book. Like there's pages, and you have like bits of the story, along with some pictures. So it looks like, you know, you're reading the book, which I think is really cool. And in the back you have the discs. So just things like that. It's just really cool, and you don't get that with most regular studio releases. Another really cool one that came out last year is Godzilla. Now this is the original Godzilla film from 1954, and what they did with this is really cool. So basically it's in one of these digipacks that they do sometimes, but it slides out, and then you have that on the front, that on the back, and then when you open it, there's a booklet here. Always comes with booklets, and then those are the nice disc art. But when you open it here, this is the really cool part. You have this cool Godzilla pop out. Now, that's really cool for a release, you know what I mean? Like, you don't get that normally from a regular studio release that you find in like Walmart. Now, this is just a company that really, really puts thought and care into these movies. This is what the back art looks like of the release. But yeah, like, who wouldn't think that's awesome? Like, that's just really cool, you know? Maybe I'm easy to please, but that's just cool. So I just really love Criterion for those reasons, you know what I mean? And they are always putting out new movies on Criterion. They put out like 4 or 5 movies every month on Criterion. So there's always new movies coming out for you to discover. The only downside to Criterion is that they rarely have sales, and these movies are typically $50 for 4K and $40 for a Blu-ray. So if you're not someone who's super rich, then you can really only buy these Criterions when they go on sale. Now thankfully they do 2 month-long sales, so that really helps out a lot. They have 1 month-long sale in July, and then they have another one in November. And those sales are both 50% off. And then they also do 2 random days out of the year. They'll have a 50% off sale on their Criterion website that only lasts for 24 hours. But besides that, those are the only sales that they offer throughout the year. So it can make it a little hard to get these movies. Luckily, my birthday month is July, and November is right next to Christmas. So I use most of my birthday money and Christmas money towards Criterions, and that's how I build up my collection. But every Criterion film that I've ever bought, I've liked. There hasn't been one that I've watched that I haven't liked. You can pretty much guarantee that if you buy a Criterion, you're most likely going to like the film. So if you're a big movie fan like me, and you're looking to explore different kind of films, different genres, different countries, then I highly recommend looking into Criterion, especially right now while they're having a 50% off sale. So yeah, Criterion for sure, my favorite boutique label that's out there. Highly recommend them. I can't wait to show off all the Criterions I get for this month's sale. I'm going to wait and do it at the end of the month because I'm going to go back and buy more throughout the month, you know, because it's an addiction. And it's just really fun exploring all these movies. I just really enjoy it. Even the ones I haven't seen, you know, like Godzilla, I still haven't seen, but I own it. And it's just having it. It's kind of like having your own personal Netflix, where even though you buy the movies and you haven't seen them, you have a selection you can go through, and then one night say, oh, I want to watch Godzilla tonight. So you put it on. It's just kind of tough to make time sometimes to watch all of these, especially when you have a 3-hour and 21 movie like 7 Samurai. But I will get to this eventually. This is on my list. I plan to watch it at some point this month because I'm trying to catch up on some of the Criterions that I haven't seen yet. So expect the next Letterboxd Roundup to be a whole lot of Criterion movie reviews because I'm going to try to go through a lot of these. And I just got a whole bunch of new ones, so I'll be watching those as well. But yeah, I hope you liked this little talk about Criterion, this little explanation in case you're unfamiliar with it, or boutique labels in general. Let me know in the comments if you've picked up any Criterions this month, or if you're looking to pick some up eventually this month, which ones you want. Also recommend me any, because I'm always looking for new ones. I'm always watching videos and trying to find ones that I haven't heard about that I think I might be into. And I hope you liked this video, and I hope you stick around and watch some more of my stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.